Hello good people, this is the first in a thackstones edition of the Rekha Patel illegal eviction in Glossop. I've got some reports here and they're quite big and detailed, you know, there's 4 of them, a couple are almost 20 pages, the other 2 are a lot smaller. All of them I think we can send out to anyone that is interested. They'll all be redacted as well, because we're not going to obviously put the names up of the people that have done the reports, because they'll attract the trolls' attention and that's just something we don't want to do. So just to start off, there were no thackstones. The thackstones never existed. Now the fact that these thackstones never existed points to a fraud. That is a criminal offence of fraud. So just to make you aware, these are professional people. RICS, qualified chartered building surveyor, this guy. Qualified guy. And as I said to you, you know, look, it's got all of the photos in it. It's got the guy sort of, you know, making sure that he's got it all right. He spent a lot of time and effort doing it. And just look at the highlight at the bottom. Highlight at the bottom. Can you see the highlight at the bottom? There you go. I think you can. It says, there were never any thackstones, and that is a surveyor, you know, a qualified surveyor saying that. Here we go. There were never any thackstones. There are no thackstones, and there have never been any. Is the top one up here? The reason they were not visible is that they never existed. Never existed. No thackstones. And nothing else in this report contradicts them saying there were no thackstones. There's loads of stuff, you know, and all of, you know, the guy's done his own work. He's done a very good report. It doesn't take you a lot to know that there's not a lot of thackstones there, because it's a simple case of looking at it. A lot of the other reports that were put together apparently weren't done by people that actually went out and looked at it. Here we go again. The photos provide clear evidence that there were never any thackstones. It is now 100% clear that there were no thackstones, and this is all done, as I keep saying, by a chartered surveyor. You know, he's done his work on it. It's quite clear. It seems difficult to believe, blah blah. Oh sorry, the thackstones did not exist. Look, the thackstones did not exist. They also said that Rekha damaged the gullies, the drains. That is also complete rubbish. I'll show you another report on that one in 2 seconds. There you go. There is no damage to the top section of the gully, because she tried to say that she damaged the gully with scaffold and stuff like that as well. But I'll show that to you. Mrs. Patel has been wrongfully accused of cutting off the ends of thackstones, as these never existed. The thackstones never existed. And this is done by a chartered building surveyor, you know, a qualified person. Has not been caused by, damage has not been caused by scaffold erected at the rear of Hanover Cottage. That's one report. Let's go to, I'll tell you what, we'll go to the gully report quickly. This is also done by a guy that is a member of the Engineering Council. He's been a director. He's part of the Consulting Civil and Structural Engineers, blah, blah, blah. Another person that obviously we've had to redact due to trolls, that is qualified. The report concluded the damage viewed has been caused by root ingress. When they put the CCTV cameras into the gully, it turned out to be tree roots, you know, that had grown and caused some damage, not anything that Rekha had done. Report concluded, what's that say? Report concluded the damage noted was due to root ingress, which means tree roots. Yeah? It is impossible. It is impossible for the scaffold standard to have caused the damage to the gully. Root ingress. So there was something else they tried to chuck at the poor girl that didn't work. This next one is yet again another this is a surveyor's report, another person that is obviously very qualified to do the report. So let's just go quickly through. The guy, as we can see here, I'm a practicing chartered architect and conservation registrant listed on the RIBA Conservation Register. Qualified as an architect. He's on the Architects Registration Board, Royal Institute of British Architects, blah blah blah. Just so you can see, he isn't just some odd builder dragged in from the street. And right, let's go through this one. Oh god, I'm running out of room to put stuff on. Right, there was no record of Rose Cottage having thackstones, dripstones, thackstones, ambiguous term. And just because it isn't registered doesn't mean they didn't have. I've got to point out, if you read that, it says there is no mention of thackstones to the gable of Rose Cottage or Hanover Cottage in the official listings. This in itself is not definitive, but lends weight to the argument that there were no thackstones. Right, I'll buzz through this because I don't want to bore anyone. Guys, read that one now. There were no thackstones to the roof slope, which contradicts findings in the court case. My opinion is that there were no thackstones, and that is by a chartered surveyor guy. That's by a guy that's got qualifications in it. Pages and pages, and as I keep saying to you, you know, it's people that have been there, done their work, they've looked at it, they've got the photographs, you know, yeah. So I'll buzz through all this quickly. You can see how much there is there. They've got the old photographs that prove there were no thackstones. There were no thackstones. There were no thackstones. And now let's go to, this is the one that really gets it for me. This guy used to own the building. He used to own the building that Francis Briley is in. Francis Briley is what I believe to be the racist neighbour. Now, this guy is a retired professional steeplejack, chimney builder and roofer. I have worked on historic buildings in Derbyshire for 40 years. Please note the word thackstone is not used. Dripstone is the term that is more commonly used in the High Peak. High Peak is where it is. I was approached by Francis Briley. I told her there wasn't any thackstones and it was heavily mortared up with cement. Now folks, there you go. This guy, 40 years, used to own the building, worked on that roof, and he is saying there weren't no thackstones. And he's also told Francis Briley that there were no thackstones. So she now knows that she's part of a fraud, because she continued with it even after she was told there was no thackstones there. She ran with it. Very, very dubious. So, I owned and resided, blah, blah, blah. I read that, guys, yeah? Look, I am 100% sure that dripstones have never existed on the Rose Cottage gable end wall. That's a guy that's been in the game for 40 years, used to own the place, and has worked on that roof. That's pretty good. That's pretty definitive. Now, the good thing is, all this evidence is still there. So why don't they go and look at it? Because this is a fraud. They've defrauded the lady out of her house. And if you go to these properties now, you can see that there was never any thackstones. They have completely defrauded the lady out. And they've dug so deep now that they cannot admit that they were acting fraudulently. This one is the thackstones explained. As I keep saying, I'm pretty sure we can send out all these reports, redacted obviously, to anyone that could help or is more interested. Please leave a comment. Look out for the other ones. We are going to do some small videos on all the different subjects, and if you have a look at my YouTube, you will find other videos that explain the situation, my arrest, the appeal, and all sorts of other interesting stuff. Thank you very much, folks. Have a nice day.